Oh. Oh, all right. That's good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting for the City of Sandy Parks and Trail Advisory Board. Leslie, will you do roll call, please?
Yes. Okay, Alexandria. Alex, are you still with us?
Yep, sorry, I'm here.
Nope, you're fine. Ryan,
Present.
David,
Present.
Dawn is absent tonight. Kimberly. Perfect. Michael is absent tonight as well. Will,
Here.
and then Lori is absent. Perfect. Please roll call.
Consent to agenda.
Everybody get a chance to review the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Second. Do we have any public comments?
There's nobody.
Any changes to the agenda? No changes? On with the old business,
Okay.
Rochelle?
Yeah, thank you. So give it over here. So a couple of different agenda items tonight. I'll be talking about the council goal updated overview for last year. And then after that, I'll provide an update on what we're doing with Cascade Creek development. And then we'll close out the meeting with an update from our esteemed recreation coordinators who have been working hard on summer events. So okay, I will share my screen and we'll go through multiple updates. All right. So glad you guys can see why. See, hold on, sorry. I know finish here because it's new to me. Fashion. How's that? Better? Wow. Whiplash. Okay. All right, so I'll provide a quick overview on the Park and Recreation Department. And the reason we wanted to talk a little bit about this, because we've already been at council, they've set council goals, then our takes those council goals, and then we set our department based on those. I also wanted to take an opportunity to celebrate the last year because we've done a lot. So. Okay, so our department has 19 developed park properties. Of those, we have 6 mini parks, 7 neighborhood parks, 2 community parks, 4 special use areas, and natural and open space with 224 acres. In total, Tiana and her team take care of roughly 280 total acres of park property. Our trail system includes 9.6 acres. You can see of that, we have 5.7 of trails and paths within parks and 3.8 trails outside of parks. Now, the interesting thing about this is our department was officially established in November 2020. So we're coming up to about a year in the official recreation department, where parks used to be under the works. And during that time, we actually hired 8 new employees, which is we're a brand new department. And so that's really exciting to me to celebrate. And then we have people who have been with the city for 20 years and have just wonderful institutional knowledge. So we're a very, very brand new department. And you can see here we have 10.91 FTEs, which is actually slightly less than we've had in previous biennium. And part of that is restructuring the facility or the department slightly. So we do a lot for having such a small group of people. So our council goals for 2021-2022 were to look at cost recovery where possible. And we have to celebrate over the last year and a half. We've gone through cost recovery work. John presented on the policy last meeting, and then that policy will be going to council in a meeting in June for the application of the policy. So then we'll have guiding North Star, essentially for cost recovery, and we'll apply it to programs and services or rentals. It's a really good tool for us. So that's part of work that we've gone through as a department. And then expanding recreation opportunities that align with community needs. So again, a big focus on this was appointing a committee to guide the next steps in the community campus aquatics. That is something that there's a council subcommittee that has been working on this. We did complete our Parks and Trails master plan, which was a major accomplishment. And then we explored with council what we would need to do for community recreation services and needs, and how we as an organization can support that. The other thing that is great to celebrate is they wanted us to incorporate biodiversity into our parks and green space. And this is definitely something that we'll be talking a little bit more about at the end of the meeting. And it's a passion of Amy's, she's taken biodiversity and obesity and just really run with it. So it's definitely something to celebrate. The other thing that we'd like to talk about, and I don't know if you all remember Lake Lytle, which was the flooded parking lot. And we were able to problem solve essentially. That was it's pervious asphalt. And so Tiana and her research were able to find a company that came in, they restored the pervious asphalt, and we no longer have Lake Lytle.
No one's swimming every year?
Yeah, which we could have connected kids to aquatics. So possible. So it's actually something that's great. So we now understand a little bit more about pervious concrete and asphalt. So if and when we do for those future parks, and we currently have. The other thing that we accomplished this year, and it took a team to do it, was the Winter Fest, or we called it, I can't remember what the name, Holiday Lights at Mining. Again, just a team effort to install those lights, creatively come up with ways to basically light about 10 acres of the park. We added and improved the community gardens. We opened up the senior center, which was a major accomplishment. We had been closed because of COVID, and we started to offer programs again. So this picture here is Thanksgiving meal. And we also did the Long Stay Parkway, which will end this meeting with an announcement, and see if anybody's interested in being part of that. So just some fun things to celebrate that we've done over the last year and a half in this department. And this just touches the surface, it really does. The other thing that we really wanted to improve on is our data gathering. And one of the things we realized is as we move forward as a department and we ask council for certain things, or we ask the Parks Board for support, we have to be able to back that information up by data that we've collected. So Tiana and her team just took Maintainance, which is a work order software system, and they researched it, implemented it, and now we're using it. And so this tracks mowing hours, work orders, response. They're breaking it down in the facility work. They're tracking like homelessness cleanup, and so it is really a powerful tool to say where and how to spend your time, and then to keep the team on track. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. Some of the things that we've the data that we've pulled since January of 2022 through December of 2022. So our teams have spent about 210 hours mowing. The busiest months are May, June, and July. There's been 240 mowing work orders created and 240 mowing work orders completed. And then there's 888 total work orders created and 842 completed. And then the interesting thing is it breaks it down reactive versus repeatable. So we can actually track to see how on time they are completing these work orders. Now, what this indicates, for example, so the average hour to complete a reactive work order is about 86 hours. So the story that is telling us is that there's actually more work orders staff to get to it in the time they do get to it. But it's a story that talks about a really large park system with amenities, facilities. This is how long it would take them on average to get to these work orders. That number will come down as we improve our systems. We're looking at purchasing some additional equipment, like an hour back on it. And so this number, as we track, should lower. And then senior center programs and services, from January to December, we served 15,785 meals. And then recreation trips, There's 2,484 patrons that participated in senior trips, classes, and services since we opened up in May. For recreation programs, you can see here that we've added concerts in the park, movies in the park, we added our holiday event, and we estimated about 4,000 people visiting our events, and we completed 17 different events since May 1st, 2022. Our recreation service, age 60 and above, there were 686 participants. And then our facility rentals, May 1st to present, there were 48 rentals, resulting in $11,632 in rental revenue. And our attendance was about 2,000, or excuse me, 2,000 people. And then this number will continue to increase the popularity of renting our sites as it's skyrocketing. So it's great that we offer those services. And then community partnerships, and this is a major shout out to the team and specifically Carol. They were able to raise in 2021, 2022, $37,700. They still happen. So very, very cool. Okay, so as we move forward from 2023, 2025, I want to let the Parks Board know the big goals so you can understand as we as a department start to chart out what we're going to be doing in the next 2 years. We really do base that on the council goals that the council has established for their goals. So under Park and Recreation, they've want us to invest in our park system for current and future residents of Sandy and continue the expansion of recreation opportunities. A major goal is the design and construction of the community campus park improvements, and then complete design and construct park improvements for Deer Point. Research act upon future parkland and open space preservation. And one of the things that we have discussed and the council has discussed is that includes future parkland for natural spaces, open spaces, including ball fields. That has been something the council has talked about. Work with the Oregon Trail School District for developing a new facility use agreement as at the top of their list, and then explore ways to connect Sandy residents with aquatic opportunities, including swim lessons and water safety programs. The team's currently working on Shenango, pools, partnering with transit. How do we get the kids there? So that's something we're working on. And then reestablish a volunteer program and expand volunteer opportunities. So that is the list under Parks and Recreation that the council has identified we as a department should shoot for. Okay. So under community planning and economic development, we fall under this goal because of the holiday lights at Miami and to create a winter fest that goes through all the holiday season. And this includes adding to the lights that are already at Miami, adding additional special events, and then engaging the community in a larger way to become like a winter fest community. So we are definitely, our Parks and Recreation is a feeder in tourism and economic development, so we also put it out. So good governance and city operations. So we also fall under this because one of the things that we do is we're going to look at our financial sustainability of our programs, our events, and then we're going to make sure that we adequately recover on our costs. And then we're also as a department looking at establishing a policy and procedure manual. And we have bits and pieces of policies and procedures that were created over the year, but it's bringing it together and making sure that we have really tight practices. And you, as a Parks Board, have already seen some of the results of that. So, for example, the integrated pest management policy, we've working on the cost recovery. We'll have to, we're working on OSHA standards. So it's coming. That's what our goals. All right. So our department goals align with the city council. So again, we'll continue to engage the council subcommittee on the planning of the community campus property. We're going to promote tourism and economic development efforts, create a formal volunteer program, and then continue to work through our department policies and procedures for financial stability. And one of the things that we really do try as a department is the social equity piece and making sure that we're offering programs that are inclusive, that bring everybody in and remove barriers. So that's a goal of ours. And then we have parks and recreation goals that align with our mission. And capital improvement projects. We are hoping to break ground for the community campus park by the 2024 and complete that park by 2025. And then we did receive a grant from Sandy Bluff. So we will be completing those upgrades. We are in the midst of building the Cedar Ridge Connector Trail, so that is a project that's been contracted and off the ground, and we're working on. And then if funding is available, we'll work towards development of Deer Point. This is a rainbow chart essentially that basically talks about what we see we would like to do actually for the city or for our vision as we move forward as a department. And this is something that's going to, guide us as many years to come. But we want to look at health and wellness, our aquatics, our gym and sports, our rentals, our youth programs, our senior programs, and create a menu essentially that grows as the city continues to grow. So this is a colorful way and it helps us meet our vision. Our vision includes being a pillar in the field of parks and recreation. We continue to grow our park and recreation department and athletes programs. We'll be a leader in pillar this from the community. All right, challenges and constraints. So we have some things that we have to look at as we move forward. And with all departments, at the speed of which the city is growing, the demand on programs, of course, there's always the staffing and funding level issues and concerns. We are preparing for that through things like maintain acts, starting where we're spending our time, doing our cost recovery work. We're fortunate, like John talked about last meeting, we do have a rollover philosophy. So if we're creative, we can keep our beginning balance. That will help us with capital improvement, and help us potentially for future staff. So facility maintenance and staffing limitations. Again, that ties into the first one. And then this site's, we're growing this site for as fast as this community is growing. They come in, it's great to see it just like it's busting at the seams, and we've got rentals, and so there's some upgrades here that we could be doing. And then funding to address the community centers support maintenance, and not just this, but citywide. And Cascade takes care of all the facilities for the city. So good job. Okay, so with that, and that is the end of my presentation. I'll turn it over to David if you want. If there's people have questions or comments, they're happy to answer or clarify for folks.
And does anybody else have any questions or comments?
Just I think it's pretty awesome that we're outgrowing this building 2 years ago.
And John's working on a grant for the kitchen, so then we'll start to be able to kitchen burst in at the seams. And any other, is there any questions online or? Thank you, Kimberly.
If there's no more questions, then I'll get back over to Rochelle for the Cascade Creek development update.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's really close. Okay, this is a quick update for the Parks Board because this is a development that the Parks Board weighed in on in December. So I wanted to look back and make sure that the Parks Board, nothing surprised you guys. And if you had any questions, I'll do my best to answer the questions. And if we have some technical ones, I can always write them down and make sure to answer any of them. So again, this is an update on Cascade Creek multifamily development. You can see here, this is Ormstead Park. The development is directly north of Ormstead Park. The development is 78 multifamily residents and 10 office spaces. And again, it's directly north of Ormstead. The existing park satisfies the proposed park system requirements. So originally, when we talked about this as a Parks Board and in September, one of the things that we had considered is whether we should do fee in lieu part-time dedication or if we should ask that they do part-time dedication. And so technically, because this satisfies the parks that are located and listed on the Parks and Trails Master Plan, we discussed that it would have been rather difficult to ask for part-time dedication. So at that time, the Parks Board decided to support fee in lieu. So we created a memo that is submitted that for formal record to. So that's where we're at again. So they're actually looking at developing. The other thing that the Parks Board, it was important to you was a trail. So Trail 44, which is listed as a 5-foot trail, met the connector requirements in the Parks and Trails Master. And so you can see from this slide, Trail T44, so oops. This here, this purple is Ormsted, and the new development is directly north, and so T44 connects those two pieces. So there is a connector that goes from this new development.
I remember this one. Did we figure out if that was dedicated road land or if that was something else? The two black lines between the and
Here,
yeah, that horizontal. We couldn't figure out if that was dedicated road land or if that was for like a connecting road through.
so that will not be a connector road through.
Okay.
Yep.
Who owns that land? Is that Parks or is
It
that?
is, yeah, there's an easement through that, and it is, it's an easement for the city. So
It's city easement, not
Yeah.
Parks.
and I can look that up to verify, and the documentation that was attached to the agenda, it's pretty clear what it specifies that, so I'll look that up, and if I'll make sure that I send it out. But that will not be, that will be.
So, that was the top of the conversation.
Yep, good memory. So. Okay. So here I just, this is an illustration of the Parks and Trails master plan. It shows where the parks are located. You can see the proximity to where the development's gonna come in. That, again, just refreshing our memory, that, that's why the Parks Department chose, or the Parks Board chose you. So the budget impact. Originally, we had discussed what the fee in lieu would equate to. There's been some changes since then. One, we successfully as a department have received support from the council to raise our fee in lieu rates. And they raised to $869,242. And that's the new rate. The old rate was $241,000. So when we originally gave this information to the Parks Board, we were working off the old fee in lieu number. What's currently happening is the council is reevaluating the fee in lieu number, and that will actually be a discussion Monday at the council meeting. But they're looking at providing essentially cutting this in half for developers that are currently in the offer, if you will. And so we'll use the number either the 869 or 443,000 if the council cuts it in half. So you can see with the 78 units. Doing the math, if we use the currently adopted number of 869,000, fee in lieu would equate to 922,000.
That's money in the bank to the parks.
Yeah, it's money in our fee in lieu account, which is dedicated for the future of land purchase.
Okay.
If there's a decision on Monday to reduce the fee to $443,650, was not great. You guys good. If that would equate to $470,000.
Now that's solely up to council to vote on. We're not voting on that.
And that's happening now. So that would be the difference and then if they do pass the resolution on Monday, the way that the resolution is currently written, this would sunset in October. And so it would refer back to the 869,200.
And this is all for people that are currently in the offer that was thinking about it beforehand, not new ones coming in.
And part of that ties into the contract in. So
Are we still in the moratorium with the sewer and stuff?
and they'll do stress tests and they'll have to be evaluated.
So basically, they're doing it because it's at no fault of theirs that they didn't start building.
There's an understanding that developers have come in with the idea that it was one fee as they went through the process, that a new fee was adopted.
Okay.
And so having heard from some of the developers, they reevaluated it.
So it's basically permits that were. Permits that were applied for, whereas you can't apply for a permit. Okay. And then and then we have SDCs on top of that.
And those, you have two different fees, the SDCs, park improvement, development. And increased, like, to meet the needs of the community develops, and then fee in lieu is land, dedicated for land purchase. Yeah. This would be the fund where we would use to purchase land ball fields.
And then where's the funds for the SEC go to?
So those sit in a dedicated, separate line item specifically for, like the community campus park, for example. We're going to pull $2 million of those SECs to develop this community park, this capacity building. And then that was the other thing to the Parks Board. We voted on it, also eventually a reimbursement fee, so we can invest back into our system. So that totally different funding mechanism, want to like keep up with growth and the other purchase plan. Yeah. So, key considerations. So, really, as an update, FEMA was still recommended. And then due to the proximity of Morstead Park, that was, again, we talked about that. That's why we're continuing to recommend FEMA. And then the other thing that we just had discussed is a development agreement for SDC credits. As we move forward, that will be something that the department will do with the developer if indeed you're interested in that. So what that would mean is going back to the SDC. So as they, if they get building permits, they're required to pay SDCs. If they want to partner with the department to develop phase 2 of Morstead, we would issue them credits for SDC. So they wouldn't pay us in turn. What they would do is develop part of the park and then pay us that full bill.
So it'd be enough of a development to justify that. I mean, is there requirements on how much they have to develop to get credit?
Do we get the credit?
Or is there a plan that says you have to develop this much or build this much development to get the credit?
Yes, so there's a phase 2 that currently exists
Okay.
in the master plan. We would have some coming into the engineer's estimate, and then I'm making this up, but yes, it's $1 million of investment. If you guys go this up in SDC, they would receive a credit of $1 million and then do that development for us.
So you go all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, that is the end of my update. Are there any questions on Cascade Creek? For the answer, or at least that's one. All right.
On the new business, we've got the upcoming summary offerings. Presented by Carol Cohen and Amy Lytle. Lytle, sorry. Go ahead and go to you guys.
Right. So we handed a few flyers out for you, and we also handed out the new recreation guide that came out last Tuesday. So this is our summer recreation guide that goes through the end of August. I'm Carol Cohen. I'm the recreation coordinator, one of them, and I've been here for 21 years.
And I'm Amy Lytle. I just moved to Sandy in December, so I've been a recreation coordinator for 5 months. Yeah.
All right, so I guess we're just gonna go in chronological order, starting here. The first flyer that you have is the Walk and Run with Pride. And this is a new program, could be an annual event. We are partnering with the Sandy Library and the high school. The high school has a group called Safe and Equality, and they in the past have done rallies at the Centennial Plaza during the Pride Month. So we're helping that group out to give them some funds so they can do the rallies at Centennial Plaza. The library is helping us out, and this is going to be at Sandy Brook Park. It's on June 10th. You can look at the bottom. These are some of our local sponsors here. So pretty much everything the sponsors gave us food, drinks, and then the other sponsors gave us some money to basically pay for our costs. It's just a run walk. We're going to also have some vendors there that will sell some goods and some artwork. And yeah, we're pretty excited to see what kind of turnout we'll have in the park. So that's our first, this will be our first event, and registration is open now, it's online. We've done some social media outreach, and so far, it's been pretty positive.
Here, we got a question online.
Okay.
We can't pull that, the fire.
It might be, yeah, I kind of want to see how successful it is, and it might be, yeah. Like to see that. And then the next event is our longest day parkway, you have a flyer on that. And I want to say we started this in 2016. And we kind of stole this event from Portland. Portland has Sunday parkways. And what that is they close down sections of Portland. Well, have you guys heard of Sunday parkways? Okay, so we kind of stole that idea and we started it here in 2016, and our goal was to do it at different parks. So we do it at a park, we shut down about a mile of the roadway, and all of the what am I trying to say? All of the departments in Sandy is part of it. So we have planning, we have police, we have parks, we have transit. So all of the department heads get their staff, and we are pretty much lined up throughout the whole mile of the route, different sections. And it gets everybody out, we close down the road, people walk, they bring their strollers, they're on their skateboards, whatever they want. And it also brings people from outside of that neighborhood too, which is kind of fun. And I don't know, we probably get a couple hundred people there. This year we're going to be at Homestead Park. And at the end, everything is at the park, and we're going to be handing out like hot dogs and some ice cream. So, and the department, each department basically gives out information of what's going on in their department. Sandy Net might be there, Sandy Net will be there, and they'll give information about Sandy Net. So it's a way of educating the community of what all the city does.
And what's really great about this event is it flies right in the middle of National Pollinator Week, which is a national event that runs from June 19th to the 25th. Because we are a bee city, this is just a perfect event to have a booth to kind of advertise that and do a fun activity with the community.
The timing is good.
Yeah.
So the next event, June is pretty packed, as you can see. It's like three big events. The Noah's Quest actually started in 2006. I don't know if you ever heard of Noah's Quest. Kind of a personal note, we lost our son and he was stillborn, and I decided I kind of wanted to raise funds for stillborn research, but it was like really, you had to like raise like almost millions of dollars. Anyway, so we raised money for a support group, and it's always been at Sandy Bluff Park, and it's for anyone that has lost a child. It could be stillborn, it could be miscarriage, anything. And so the first few years, we probably had like 300 to 500 people that just showed up. And what was amazing was there were seniors from Sandy that came to this event, and we're so thankful to have an event like this, because for the seniors back then, they never really talked about loss, and they never really got a chance to see their baby. So seniors would come up to me and be like thankful for having this kind of event. And we get people from all over. Like I said, we've been doing it since 2006. We do get a lot of people from Portland. We, Cascade, kind of like from all over. And it's been going on for a long time. There's also a walkway at Sandy Bluff Park. We started a walkway, so if you ever go to the park there, you'll notice some bricks that are engraved, and the parents will buy bricks with their baby's name on. So we've kind of developed that pathway. So it's an event that goes on every year and it brings people from all over. So we've continued that.
Pretty powerful, and the person stopped by our center 2 years ago, and they're on their honeymoon now in Florida, and she's bringing her husband back to her hometown. Stopped in just to show the center that she spent so much time out, and specifically, it's like, I know everything's changed, but do you still do Northwest West? Yeah, we do. Do you still order socks? Yes, we do.
Wow.
She's like, I still have them on here first appointment, so, I mean, pretty powerful, pretty cool event.
Every year is a different color with socks. They're pretty cool. So, it's kind of like an olive. Yeah, one olive. I try to go, sort of neutral, like one year pink. And, the guy, pink socks, like, I'll have different blues and, I had greens, and I had reds, I had yellows, I had oranges. So every year is a different year.
It's not called salmon.
Yeah. All right, so July. Do barbecue?
Yeah, we're doing a senior barbecue, July 3rd, actually. It's gonna be from 12 to 1:30 p.m. We wanted to do something specifically for the seniors to make sure that they had their space, because often some of the other 4th of July themed events aren't necessarily focused on an opportunity they can engage in.
The fireworks, we have them every year, and our main sponsor is Clackamas County Band. And we're thankful that they sponsor every year. This year it did go up, and we had to talk to them and kind of negotiate, and we're with us again, so we're just way thankful for the fireworks. It's kind of across the street from the high school. It's on block. They have like a big grassy area. Same as last year. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like next word.
And then Mountain Festival, we have our yearly Mountain Festival. Obviously during COVID, we didn't have it. So the main parade is on Thursday night. That's gonna happen. And then our department is in charge of 3 events, kids events. We have a pet show that we have down at the old Cedar Ridge track. We have a bike derby that's also there on the track, and then the kids parade is kind of right in front of Sandy Parade. And the police help us out. They shut down one of the roads, and basically we just kind of like go up a block, go right on the block. It's just a big square. And then Clackamas County is another sponsor for that, because we end at the bank and they give out hot dogs. Drinks. And then I have Scoop and Swirl, that's one of our sponsors. So they go across the street, they eat, and then they go to the Sandy Parade, and then Scoop and Swirl is going to give out free ice cream. And then it's a big turnout, probably over between 150 to 200 kids, and parents and grandparents and animals even like do the parade. Last year, for the first year, I decided to have different vendors from the businesses to come and have a booth. So River Snappers was there, there was a Taekwondo place, there was the library, there was Totos Juntos. And then we had a booth, and it was very interactive. So the kids would go up to the booth and they might be doing some artwork. The Taekwondo place, they had bands and they were showing different things. And it was great, it was very interactive, and it just kept the kids busy. In the past, what I've had was I always hired, like a magician or, a clown. And I was like, I didn't want to spend any money, but the businesses were like, yeah, I'll do it. And I charged them like $25. So it saved us some money and put some money back into our budget. And I asked them again this year, and they're like, yeah, we want to do it. Because it promotes their business, it gets their business out, and it's very kid related. So it was just a win. And then I'm gonna go back to the bike derby because I don't know if you guys know Robbie Walters. Has he come to any of the Parks Board meetings? Robbie? Okay, so he is a mountain bike coach. And he was part of the whole city campus, kind of went around, kind of gave his input a little bit, I think, Robbie, right? So he's gonna help out for the bike derby, and he's a mountain bike coach, and he's gonna kind of set up a little clinic for the bike derby. And he's also doing some clinics. You'll notice in the rec guide, he's got a couple classes, beginner classes. So I'm really thrilled. He's a local guy, and he's a wealth of knowledge and knows a lot about bike. So we're super excited about that. And we'll talk about those things.
Yes, yeah, they're doing our Summer Sounds in Movies series. So we have 3 movies and 3 concerts. For the movies, we actually did a survey that we advertised to media, see what movies the community would like to see. And so the movies are, the first one is in July, it's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. The other 2 are in August. And you can see we do have 2 concerts in July as well. Take It by the Sky, which is like a Fleetwood Mac cover band that I'm very excited for personally. And then Nate Botsford, that I think, John, do you know? Nate?
Yeah, and Oxford's like a local, pretty nationally recognized country artist, does a lot of covers, but also has a bunch of his own music. It's got a pretty good following. From the metro area, but pretty good sound. They both have good YouTube pages, so if you're interested in seeing what they're like, they're pretty solid. Pretty excited about the lineup. We're doing part and mining part of 3 events. Yeah.
If you go to August, you can see there's gonna be 1 more concert and then 2 more movies in August. The Spider-Man No Way Home, and then the Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear movie, as well as Radical Revolutions. So you can see the band picture performer there. We also have National Night Out, which Carol can usually describe.
Sure. Just if you look on page 17, it shows you all the sponsors for the music and movies, and Rochelle wanted to have us raise $14,000 for this, and we raised $14,000. So it just shows you all of the sponsors. A lot of them came back, and we have some new ones. And for the music, there will be food and booze. And Just Rum is one of the new businesses that are going to be part of it too. So, super excited about that. And then the National Night Out, we have, an organization, D31, they've done a lot with the community. Amy Hardesty is the CEO of that, and last year, they did it on the land, and it basically is a fundraiser for the police department. And they use that money, I believe, for like shopping the pop, before like the holidays, and getting gifts for the kids. So they're doing that again, and I forget where are they doing that?
They're gonna do it at Left Park this year.
Okay.
That's why it's on ours. We're just gonna park it up in space.
Mhm. Yeah, it was a great turnout last year. So that's in August.
We do have some events that are ongoing throughout the summer. Kind of, as Carol mentioned, there is the new mountain bike series. You will see that in the guide, and I believe we've already had at least 1 person signed up for it. And then we always partner with Skybox. We created a poster, which you guys have in your packet, and we started advertising and letting people know, both on the reader board with the posters as well as social media. And we have quite a few startups for those. Skybox, they use a variety of other parks, have a couple of different types of camps, both traditional sports and then some like really fun ones like capture the flag and also frisbee, that type of stuff. We also have a bunch of classes that are held in the community center, voice and theater, under dance, exercise classes, and photos and toast. I believe there's a few others that you can see in the guide as well. We have our ongoing senior services. That includes dine outs, hikes and lunches, and some special trips. Those are really fun. Mark actually takes some from the seniors themselves to help design some of the special trips and pick out some of the restaurants. So we do take input from them. We also have our adult Cohen softball league. The first game is actually going to be May 31st. That'll run through June and July. The final tournament is May, July 26th. So each team will play about 1 or 2 games a week.
We'll sign up for that.
People sign up for that. We've been advertising it on social media and the reader board. It's also pretty heavy word of mouth. So we had 6 teams last year. We actually had 8 teams this year. And the signups for that are actually closed at this point.
We need girls, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, except
One of the
for-
teams is like, can we throw girls?
Yeah,
that's
except for one
more.
or 2 girls maybe,
Yeah.
or a couple, yeah. For that, it's, you have to have an equal amount of women and men on the field at all times, so. We also have a pickleball, you'll see actually in the guide, we have a whole page where, you can join our pickleball program. The fee is just $20 and gives access to the courts through December of 2023. Once you sign up, you get an email with instructions on how to access the courts in the box. And so we're pretty excited about that as well. The pickleball courts, those are at Cedar Ridge Middle School. Those are, well, you live right in the center. All the fun stuff. And then of course we have the community gardens going throughout the summer. And like I said earlier, we are the city that we're designated as the city. So we have an action group that meets quarterly. The first meeting was in April, but there will be a summer meeting with follow-up actions. Like I touched on pollinator week, hopefully more and more actions for that as well as time goes on. There is also a poster for that. I am always looking for more members for the action group. For anyone who wants to get involved.
Maybe I have a quick question. Are you heading?
I am not thinking.
I mean, I kind of started it, I worked with the school district about it. And, what I might do, I mean, it's open. It's on our website. There's probably close to maybe 4 people that have signed up from the past, and they continue. Last summer I had some clinics. I had a fellow that basically volunteers, and I might do that again this summer and have them do like maybe 2 or 3 clinics this summer.
I was bringing up this advocating. About 4 copies, that's. Public. Access. Not the access, but the access.
To the school, yeah, yeah,
That's.
Yeah.
If I'm reading this right, this plate would be not provided, so does that mean like paddles and stuff?
we have paddles and I have balls there, but most people bring their own paddles. There, I got a grant, and the stuff that I got, you know, they're wooden paddles. Not graphite, I mean, some of them, they're better paddles than you go get. But I have a set of 4 wooden paddles, and then I have a bunch of balls there, and then that's where they. Yeah,
We got this here too about the timing. I know it's the partnership can be complicated there because those dates in session, we don't have access to it. And summer school came in last year, so people during summer, last the schools that were going up, so we'll just, when they register for that, with their contact information will be better than theirs, or as be more transparent with exactly when those are open, you can get at a time with facilities. Want to make sure the gate is always wasn't on.
To be proactive.
Yeah.
This is proactive, so because the preservation documents.
Yeah, and we are aware of events, but
When the community park opens up, are we gonna move the pickleball courts over to Running Park? Or
there's no plan for courts in that part.
however, when we did take a look at pickleball courts, we were doing that assessment based on some of the feedback we received from the community. There were some parks that we in the future would develop that could potentially. One we talked about was Deer Run, for example.
So the key there is to put pickleball where the noise isn't going to be an issue for residents. We've been following that, it can be really contentious, so.
And I think that's it. Yeah.
Any other questions on the flyers and everything?
I'd like to just make a comment.
Yeah.
That's great. Just one of the things I just want to point out really quick is how, I'm just really proud of these guys. They've been doing a lot of work. And when John was putting together this slide working with these guys, it's amazing what the team has accomplished in a year and a half. And even the rec guide before you is something that is just a really creative way that we hadn't had a rec guide in 4 years. And they do a lot of promotion of that online and a really great partnership with somebody who helps us design that. And it takes a lot of effort to come up with the things that go into that guide. So even that, for us as a group was a small celebration because all these little wins are building on, like you say, building our empire. And it's great. So just thank you for everything that you guys have done and you guys. So
Thank you.
Okay. So I think we've already done the announcement of the Long State Parkway. That was part of that.
Okay, that's touch on one thing. We said, so we all have booths, but last year we asked, Parks and Advisory Board to have a booth. We'd love to do same thing this year. We're there and have purpose, but it's important to be there to engage the community, let them know what the board does, some of the projects that have been going on. I think last year we just had information about all of the different parks and trails we had and a huge map that was talked in and had prizes of people that were asking questions about it. If there was anyone that would volunteer to want to do that, I think this year, I think Don Robinson is there last week, and remember if anyone else was there. That's going to be June 22nd from 6:30 to 8. You don't need to miss that now. We'll send out information about all the pictures for you to let me know what we are. Right.
one more announcement. Board should have received an email from County and Neil about the comprehensive citywide comprehensive plan. So if you were interested in getting involved with being part of that meeting, it's mandatory statewide to have a comprehensive plan. And so this is that update. So it's a really great way and an opportunity to get your voice heard for the next 15, 20 years that the city is heading as far as development. It includes like this next chunk essentially is focused on parks and trails. And it's a goal that will set the future citywide. So and part of what will happen is our parks and trails master plan will be part of this citywide plan. So if you're interested, please seriously consider the July 13th meeting. They would love to hear your voices on future. So was it July 13th? Yeah. Something else to keep on your radar. It's kind of hard to SVP. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He's the development.
Yeah.
Chelsea, yeah, they need help from me, but except to the stalker up and ours. Interesting. Staff updates, yeah,
From on the 24th of April, Jacob, our seasonal employee, started with the team. He dove right in. He was with us last summer and we worked as an intern throughout the year. So he dove right in. He's already been out for Washington City Hall and did all the perks up there, really cleaned up and looking good. And was pressure washed the majority of our playground structures and bring build. Casey and Brandon attended an irrigation workshop on the 27th. And Brandon will soon be raising and replacing many of our irrigation pits in the dog park and give that system a facelift. He's also been working really hard at providing excellent service to our facilities and responding to numerous flow program requests. Casey has diligently been working on repairing leaking drinking problems all over our system. These are aging and you may have seen some chatter on Facebook about our Winstead fountain, but the parts arrived today, so hopefully we'll have that on very soon. We have received a new backboard for Tupper Park, and we will be installing that maybe this week, not this week, but next week. John and I have been in conversations with the Combat Veteran Motorcycles Association. They reached out to us, asking if they could partner with us and kind of sponsor the memorial here in town to help give it a facelift. And so we've received bids on what it would cost to replace the concrete up there. And other minor repairs. They were going back to their board to discuss it further, and we're waiting to have some follow-up conversations, but we're hopeful that that will lead to some renovations at the memorial. I have new elements on current in route for Timberline and 7 o'clock playground, so the police repairs and updates there. And I've been in conversations with Levin's playgrounds, let's do some updates to fantasy forest for some of the elements of that structure there. Last weekend, we began our weekend coverage rotation to ensure our parks remain clean and usable over the weekend. So you'll see myself and my team out and about on the weekends.
Staff report will be short because it did it for me. It was awesome and thorough and great. And we'll touch a little bit on the senior services side. That's still going well. That's a program that we didn't have for a while. I talked about it last time. We still have the clients for government program. Really proud of what Fairly was doing. She's also reached out on her own to start a senior resource fair. There's 16 different businesses and organizations that are local that are coming in and tabling throughout the center. And seniors from around the area, there's a ton of lists we're talking. Anything from Medicare to fire equipment, be safe as you are aging, to the library, just ways that you can get support when you're aging. And she's done that and some volunteers for kind donations for food. It's possible to see me. To this program in our special way as well. I want to give her kudos as well as our reps as well. And this for myself. That's it.
Yeah.
A quick question, how do we add?
Oh, yeah.
What's the process for adding business?
Yeah, so if you would like something, the typical, you go through Dr. Robertson. And then, or you could just let us know.
John, I didn't know.
Oh, okay. Do we can make note of it, get it on the agenda?
Yeah, first thing, great job on getting the. Signs that we got out here for the only number carrying across the on the particular group. It's awesome. The signs went up, it says 12 plus. I had asked Don if we could ever come up with 4 to have a crosswalk. And he said because I figured that was a no-brainer that it was happening. And it's probably the fastest part of that road. So stop signs anyway. So let's bring it up.
Yeah.
Except the connector from the first east crossover.
Yeah.
Are you, so there's 2. There's right there, and they've added to the trail crossing to the, we talking further on that.
No, that one others. I just like discuss it. It's possible to get a painted crosswalk and listening to Oregon or to stop loss.
We'll add it to the next agenda item, and then what we can do is discuss it, and then if the board would like to send a letter of support to get that done to the Taylor Public Works.
So there's a process, it's the same process that I think that you guys can on finding to go to Public Works. I can't remember his name, but there's 2 of them there.
Right. But what we could do to address that is, again, you know, at the next one, we discuss it, and then if the park sports will, is to write a letter and say, hey, we strongly support this, and then we can attach that to. I think that's a process that Will, you're going to follow through with Public Works.
It's starting to do this. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I'd like to deliver it, you know, so.
Anything else? Meeting adjourned.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.